You're listening to The Starting Block on TAVshow.com.
The following program is recommended for mature individuals and may contain material unsuitable for morons, cretins, and dishwipes. If you are a moron or a member of the PTL Club, please turn off your radio, because we don't need any more stupid, narrow-minded, pencil-neck geeks who wouldn't know the First Amendment if it came up and bit them on the butt. Thank you.
Okie dokie, roll 'em!
Nothing to rearrange. Sometimes you just get a feeling like you need some kind of change. No matter what.
Hey, welcome to the Starting Block for another week. Big show as always. We've got story times. We've got Goodn updates. We've got Elon feeling the heat. We've got fans like their first month footy. All that and much more here on the block. Here from the Starting Block. On behalf of the block, we just wanted to let you all know that we're all in this together. Well, except if you have coronavirus, then stay the fuck away. But every other situation, we're in it together. To all of you on the front lines, those of you turning a footstool, a wok and a pitchfork into a home gym, those of you who have given your housemates a mental breakdown because you decided lockdown was a great time to learn the keyboard and the only thing you can play after 8 weeks is chopsticks over and over and over again. And those of you who are homeschooling and are now understanding the question you used to harass your maths teacher with of, when the fuck are we ever going to need to know this in the real world, is coming back to bite you on the ass. Just remember, like a 1990s Australian sitcom, we're all in this together. The days may be long, but in times like this, you can rest assured we will be here to waste an hour of your week, Friday nights Australian time, at dlive.tv/The Starting Block. So take care, social distance, whack on a mask, and subscribe to our show on iTunes. It may not cure coronavirus, but it sure will help us with our rankings. And isn't that really the most important thing right now?
Public Radio's loss is TAVshow.com's game. You're listening to The Starting Block.
Hey, welcome to the Starting Block for another week. We've got myself, Greeno, and I'm joined by a man who's been angrily calling talkback all week to tell the government to keep his hands off these $3 million worth of super. Okay, Captain Dame, how are we, sir?
Very good, Greeno. Good evening to you, boys, girls, listenership around the world, blockheads, millions. Yep, they never stop trying to take your stuff, and this is something that I have tried to make very clear to people over our years, Greeno. You know me, I've not been one to shy away from political comment, political conversation from time to time. And one of the constants, Greeno, in human evolution, especially at least for the last 4 or 5 centuries, is really doesn't matter who you vote for. They're all going to keep trying to take more things away from you. And like, it doesn't matter that it'll be one thing or another thing, right? So this group over here, they're going to try and take certain things away from you. And you think, well, I don't want them to take anything away, so I'll vote for these guys over here. And then you go and vote for those guys. And it's like, well, no, you're just trying to take something else now. Why can't one of you just not take anything? Why can't we get one of those working?
See, this one I don't mind, because in order for this to have any impact on you, you'd have to have earned like $250,000 for the better part of 40 years.
So just take it off them. And then right. Nice, Gary.
So it impacts.
As long as you don't take it off me, take it off some other guy instead.
It impacts 0.5% of the Australian population. And it's not taking anything away. It's just limiting tax concessions for people that already have $3 million to retire on.
Okay.
Now, if you've got enough money to put $3 million in super,
well,
I think you're going to be okay.
I think, honestly, the main argument should be about principles. I think the argument about the totals and what the cap is kind of irrelevant, because in this current economy, Greeno, $3 million won't get you a cup of coffee next week, the way things are going, inflation-wise. So,
Inflation-wise, different story, yeah. And then we'll give them the tax breaks in the end, the rich people. The rich people just need a break, Damo.
You'll be walking around with $3 million in the wheelbarrow, taking it down to the butcher, Greeno, to get not even good stuff, get chuck steak. Chuck steak will be like $150 a kilo. What are you going to do then with your super?
That's when we're going to have to start getting like
should have traded it in for Bitcoin, my man. Hey?
Bit of Indian savvy. We're going to have to get onto the goats, I think.
Yeah, get a herd of goats. Make that the currency of the 22nd century.
I think instead of chuck steak, I just eat goats instead.
Well, they'd have to be artificial goats, though, Greeno, like lab manufactured, because it'll be unethical to eat actual real goats. So they'll be allowed to like roam free.
Big smacks.
Yeah, we'll basically be their tenants on the land. Yeah. If the goats will have us, we'll sleep in the goat pen or wherever the fuck the goats are sleeping. And then we'll get up in the morning, we'll till the fields, Greeno, we'll plant stuff, we'll grow things, and we'll give half of it away to the government when it's grown, and we'll keep the other half for ourselves. Of course, we'll kill off at least 2 or 3 of our children once we discover that they're either female or too weak to work in the fields, like let's say they're crippled or something, like just like they did in the good old days, Greeno, of capitalism. Like
goats were king.
Goats were king, Greeno.
Yeah,
it'll be fantastic. Right. Yeah.
Damo,
I've already got a chicken. Right. I've got a chicken already. So if she lives another couple of seasons, Greeno, I'll be able to trade her in for a couple of oranges or something.
We got to sort something out. Bit of a barter system.
Yeah.
We're already way behind time, sir. And the reason being is, as always, you decide to show up late. Now, you've pointed out where that there's a valid reason this time.
Yeah.
You've got your mum to sign the late slip.
Yep.
She's given you a nice little note. She signed it. She's like, Damo is late for the block yet again.
Legit. Yeah.
For X reason. Now, I haven't been able to see X reason yet. You're going to fill the punters in. We're going to open the kimonos, we like to do on this show.
Yeah.
And you're going to fill us all in on why you kept our 0 listeners that are currently on board waiting for an extra 5 minutes.
For an extra 5 minutes or an extra 10 years maybe before they listen to this. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? Well, to tell the story of why I was late tonight, Greeno, we actually have to rewind the clock. We actually have to do one of these, I think. All you can do is step back in time. To about a week ago, when on this show we discovered we're so good at fixing things these days that we fix things by accident now. We fall backwards into solutions. And we came up with the solution in order to solve the social media problem. We're going to take Elon Musk on directly and we're going to launch our own platform.
Yeah.
And on this platform, you will only be able to post something once a day. That's it. You get one post per day. Yeah. And we feel like that will be the disinfectant that will clean up social media. This thing is going to take off like wildfire, Greeno. We're going to end up selling this thing off to, one of the big companies, and they'll probably shelve it, but we'll be rich. We'll be filthy rich. So
Doesn't
we
matter,
won't give a fuck.
As long as we get our hard-earned $3 million of super money, we're happy.
Oh, it'll be fuck the platform at that point. See you later, suckers. Bip, bip, and drive away.
How quickly can I sell it?
Convertibles,
You know?
yeah. Oh, look, I'll sell it now.
I'll put it in the back of that and strap it down for you. That's fine.
It doesn't even exist yet, but I'll sell it. I'll sell the IP for it, Greeno, you know?
Can we sell the IP now?
Yeah,
At kind of like at what we feel is an appropriate cost.
Yeah, look, I'm short on rent this week, so I'll take $200 for it now if you can, you know. Not in Bitcoin, though. Don't pay me in Bitcoin.
No. Goats, maybe.
Goats.
Yeah.
Nice, Gary!
So we're going to take on Elon Musk. We're going to launch our own platform to clean up because we think people because they can post as many times as they want, they just fill social media up with shit. And,
a lot of shit and a lot of hate.
A lot of hate and a lot of shit.
I feel like if you limited people's ability to be able to post,
would you
there'd
waste
be
it?
less hate because it's just wasted. You got one a day, you might actually make something of it. Because you don't want to waste it on like a shit thing by just calling someone a dumb cunt.
No.
Like you need to focus on, I've only got one of these, let's make it a good one.
Let's make it a good one.
That's exactly right.
So that's our idea. We're going to take on Elon Musk. We're going to launch our own social media platform. It's going to be called Goodn something, Greeno.
Yeah.
And we're going to, take over with this revolutionary idea in social media. So we talked after the show last week about Goodn.com and what we can do with it. And we quickly discovered, Greeno, that within, say, 4 minutes of us talking after the show and saying, that was a really good idea. Yeah, I wonder if Goodn.com is available. We looked up Goodn.com, Greeno, and I believe the price tag was $7,000.
$7,000, that's Goodn.com.
Goodn.com.
Yeah.
$7,000.
That's a lot of money. That's a lot of capital in it that, I'm not liquid at the moment.
I got this whole steel thing going on. You don't even want to know about it.
Look, for context,
I
ate a bag of baby spinach for lunch today. That's the situation because I'm like, well, it's been sitting there a week. Yeah. The wife fucked up a recipe during the week, forgot to use the spinach, put the wrong green in it. So I'm like, hey, why is there a bag of spinach in here? Why? She's like, oh, I couldn't find it. Who's
the lucky devil today?
So I'm like, what do you mean you couldn't find it? It's in the fridge. And she's like, yeah, no, I couldn't find it. I'm like, well, hang on. What did you use for what you needed in the recipe? So he used the rocket. I'm like, the rocket I needed for a different recipe, and I wondered why the rocket wasn't here.
It's a little impromptu story time going on.
A bit of story time. So in the end, I'm like, well, I don't like waste, man. I don't like throwing away money. And I'm like, well, that's a $4 bag of spinach right there. What am I going to do? I guess I'm eating a bag of spinach for lunch.
Now, let me ask you, did you reactivate it, or did you just eat it cold out of the bag in the fridge?
No, so found about 100 mils of thickened cream also in the fridge. Didn't want to waste that. Found some butter, found some nutmeg, found a bit of parmesan. So turned it into a cream spinach for my lunch.
A cream spinach for lunch.
Nice, Gary!
There you go. That's how you do it, folks, ladies and gentlemen. Nice, Gary. Well done.
Don't like wasting stuff.
Very resourceful. And look, this speaks to the entire philosophy of Goodn.com, Greeno. We don't want you to waste it. Don't waste it. You've got, think of your social media life on Goodn.com as a bag of spinach coming out of the fridge.
In the back fridge that's been forgotten to be used.
Yeah.
And
it's got 1 day left before it goes off. You know what?
Make the most of it.
That's it. This is all we got. We've got one bag of spinach per day. What can I do with it? How can I entertain with it? How can I make the world a fucking better place, Greeno, with this bag of spinach?
Yeah.
You know? And that's really, the driving inspiration. Of course, for $7,000 for website registration, you can all go jump off a bridge, as far as I'm concerned.
That's not a good price.
Spread all the hate. No. Spread all the hate you want on social media for $7,000. I mean,
not for $7,000.
No, we're not looking.
Then we decided. Then we're like, oh, hang on, wait, Goodn.com. Let's try and Australianize it.
Yeah.
Let's go Goodn.com.au.
So we did some investigationing and we thought, all right, well, look, we won't go with the original Goodn.com, but what if we tried Goodn, DEN.com.au, Greeno? And unfortunately, it does bring up a legal website, and so that will be the one place that we won't be trying to steal a website name from.
No, let's assume. Not impose on GJ Goodn and legal associates.
If you're listening to the podcast, yes, Goodn.com.au unfortunately is GJ Goodn solicitor and notary publics, and they're involved in legal activities, and we tend to try to avoid those here on the show. generally.
Now,
speaking.
if Jared Goodn is listening, I'm sure he is a fan.
And he wants to, I'm sure he is. Yeah, I'm sure he
and-
loves the show.
And you'd like to donate
The website.
your website domain name to us for the good of the world.
For the good of the world.
Get in touch with us.
Do some good.
Do some good. This guy's been practicing law for 30 years. So once again, this guy is liquid. He does fall in that 0.5%, I reckon.
He's got flash money, Greeno.
Yeah, he's got a lot of flash money. There's a lot of coke and hookers around.
I like stories
Allegedly.
about pinatas.
What are you doing?
Allegedly.
What are you doing, mate? That was stupid. That was a stupid thing to say.
What are you talking about? No, he's representing people.
Oh, right. He might be. I don't know. Maybe he just does real estate law or something.
I think he's a notary.
Okay. What do they do? What's different about that?
I don't know.
Okay. I'm sure he's doing really well and he's good. Good.
And he's a good upstanding
He's a good
law-abiding citizen.
What we can say about him, he's definitely a good one, Greeno.
He's a good guy. And once again, if you'd like to donate your website, let us know.
We're all ears. So that was out. We couldn't use that. And we thought, well, okay, what about just Goodn.com then, Greeno? And then unfortunately it brings up this website here, which is real names. So somebody's kind of hosting it maybe or wants to buy our service. And it's like, well, I don't want to buy it off a company. Do I care that much about the idea? Probably not, I'm not going to pay for Goodn.com. So
because this is an email address, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
This is an email. This isn't a website. This is an email address. So it's like, damo@goodn.com.
Yeah, we
You
can't
have to pay for that.
Yeah.
That doesn't help us. That doesn't help create the platform.
Yeah. So then we thought about, well, what about Goodn? So GOODUN.com. We can buy that one for nearly $5,000 American.
Nice, Gary!
That's that. Once again, conversion rate. You're talking about $8,000 Australian. We're back into that non-liquid area.
I mean, it's literally like $2,000 cheaper than the other one, though. So, isn't it worth considering? It's $2,000 cheaper, practically half price.
Practically, still not though. Still not
less,
inside
actually
our
less than
price range.
actually less than a third. But we'll say practically half price because it sounds a bit better. Taking a leaf out of Don Camaro's famous book, Greeno. So we had to rule out Goodn.com for $4,800. And then I'm like, well, hang on, we haven't gone through them all yet. What about Goodn? And it can be GOODIN, Greeno, Goodin.com. What have we got there?
Yeah.
Fuck me, another lawyer.
Nice, Gary!
What the hell? What the hell is going on here?
Goodn
No, this
and
guy's a computer consultant.
No, he's a computer consultant, which is even more dangerous to piss off than a lawyer because the computer
because between them,
oh,
we
who
got the
knows?
lawyers and we got IT. Both of them could be on our bad books.
That's right. So we can't have either of those. So Goodn and Associates Inc. And I said, look, I'm sure that there's one out there, Greeno, after the show last week. And I'm like, I'm sure there's one out there. What about, hear me out here, this is a crazy radical idea, GOODN, so no vowel in between, right? Let's
Goodn.
think of it like London slang or something, eh? Like he's
g'day.
having a Goodn. You Goodn,
Yeah.
isn't he? So what about just go straight to the end, Greeno? Goodin.com. What do you know? It's fucking available, Greeno.
Nice, Gary!
There we go.
So I said to Greeno, don't worry, I'm going to hook this shit up during the week and we'll unveil it on the show next week. And he said, you know what? That's a great fucking idea, mate. Let's do that. And I said, great, sweet. And as soon as the show was over and I'd uploaded the podcast, I completely forgot about it and went to bed.
Nice, Gary!
It happens.
Now, here's a little story.
I like stories about pinatas.
The reason I was late tonight is my story. The reason I was late tonight is because it got to about 20 past 8 and I thought, all right, I better set up for the show here now because I've got it refined now. I've got it down to a fine art getting the show ready. 8 minutes max I can usually do it. And I got in the situation I've spent the first 2 minutes loading different programs and stuff. And then I open up the rundown for the show tonight, Greeno, obviously to look at it for the first time since you sent it. And I open it up and wouldn't you know it, there's a Goodn update and it hit me. Oh, fuck, I forgot to do the website.
Nice, Gary!
Forgot to do your portion of the update. That's right.
Forgot to do a portion of the update, Greeno. So I thought, you know what? I can wrap this up. I can wrap this up in the next 6 minutes before we need to go live here. I can get the website set up for the show in order to facilitate this first segment here, the Goodn update.
Oh, beautiful.
Now, we ran into some problems, Greeno.
Oh, there's a bit of issue.
There was a
Okay.
couple of hurdles. Now, the first hurdle was, although Goodn.com was available, when I actually got to the point of, paying for the website, it wasn't very cheap. So they said, yeah, we've got it. It's right here. And then when you go into the store, that's when they hit you with the charge.
That's right. $5,000.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't $5,000. No, I want you to take a stab at, what you think it was.
1,800.
Nah, not even close. It wasn't even that much. It was much cheaper than that. Look,
$9.
Yeah, look, it was about $300 or something like that.
See, that's still a bit exy.
Yeah. Well, I thought I can do better than that. And I thought in that moment, what can Greeno do? What would Greeno do in that moment?
He'd ask for a discount.
Now, I want you to put yourself in my situation. Here I am promising this website launch on the show this week, and I'm trying to get it lined up with the next 4 minutes before the show goes live. Okay? I'm trying to set it up now. Haven't thought it. This is the ultimate cram. Right?
That is a cram. That's right.
Got 4 minutes to set it up. I'm like, well, I'm not paying $300 to do a bit on the show that nobody's fucking listening to.
No one's listening to.
It's not going to be worth it. So what would Greeno do in this moment? I know what he would do. He would completely fucking cheap out. Okay? That's what I
Nice, Gary.
So, Greeno, I am pleased to announce that you and I are now the proud owners of Goodn.life.
Nice, Gary.
How do you like that?
How much did this bad boy cost us?
This bad boy cost me less than $4.
Yes.
Nice,
Fucking-
Gary.
Nice,
You're giving yourself 3 nice Garys back to
Thank
back.
you.
So that is sensational. You get the nice Gary for the story time.
Gary.
You get a second nice Gary for setting up the website.
Nice.
You get
In
a
4 minutes.
third nice Gary for doing it under $4.
Yes, $4.
And
Because I thought I only want to spend half of the Don Camaro money.
we've only got
Max.
so much Don Camaro cash. Oh, by the way, we need to quickly play Don.
Yeah,
Otherwise, he'll
let's-
get angry.
Yeah, where
we
is-
need that
where
money
is
for
it?
the $3 now.
Don Camaros. We're going to pay off the website now. Greeno. We've got to earn $4 in the next year in order for this to be worthwhile. It's, you know what, it's going to be a tough ask, but I think we're up for the challenge. Can we make $4 by the end of the year?
We'll see how we go. Now, interesting already. Now, I like it to begin with. We've got launching soon. So we've already built the air of anticipation.
That's right.
In a couple of different ways. We've got this show, and we've also got the fact that the website is nothing but launching soon.
Launching soon. That's right.
Ironically, it does
do
say
not. And here's a little tip for the blockheads: do not click on any of these links because I don't
Any
know
of
who
these.
they're linked to. They just all go to GoDaddy. Do not hit subscribe because there is nobody monitoring this. There's nothing happening here. So
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Now,
not-
the irony of it is, follow us on socials or updates. The only social you need to worry about is the website that hasn't been created yet.
that's right. So what we'll do now, this is fucking. Now we can drag this gag out for a fucking 2-year period, my man. I'm telling you.
Mate, we've been how many years have we been dragging Unity Day out? That was meant to be a fucking one-off gag.
Well, now we can do Unity Day on Goodn.life, Greeno.
On Goodn, a live kind of Goodn launch at Unity Day 2024, perhaps.
Yeah, Goodn.life is alive, Greeno. I mean, it's
I
going to
love
be
it.
sensational.
That is sensational.
It's all about having a good
we'll give
and a good life.
updates.
Yeah.
Mm.
Post once per day. I will get something set up here. Look, I'm not going to put a lot of effort into this, don't get me wrong. But I will set something up here where you can create an account and you can only post once per day. I'm sure it's fairly doable and fairly simple, you know.
And that's all we need.
That's all we
That's
need.
all we want.
So
Now-
Don Camaro will be on there and he will just post. I'll set up a bot or something, a little inside baseball Greeno. So Don Camaro will post every single day half price on box turtles and nothing
Beautiful.
else. Yep.
Magic and Pants supplies.
Magic and Pants.
Don't forget the gorgeous Bonds assistants.
That's right.
Now, the thing about GoodnLife.com.
No, there's no com. There's no .com.
Oh, it's just Goodn
It's
Life.
just Goodn.life, Greeno.
Goodn.life.
That's right.
All right, beautiful.
Goodn.life because it was $3.75 to register.
Why is it so cheap? Just because it doesn't have a
it's-
.com at the arse end?
Yeah, absolutely. because the .com makes it sound official and legitimate.
Official.
If you put a .life in there, people go, oh, this is some kind of fucking porn site or something, you know.
Do you
Oh, this
reckon
is some
maybe
kind
we
of
can-
scam.
We can start a new revolution where we scrap the .com.
And replace it with .life instead.
Which is anything. Yeah, that's it.
Anything.
We'll own the .life.
That'll be our gig.
And all
That's our
proprietary
corner.
limited.
Yeah.
Exactly. Very, very good. Now, well, the thing with Goodn as well, it's got to be the site for the people, right? Because we're trying to appease the people. We're trying to keep it positive.
Yeah.
So we've had the blockheads already reach out with inquiries
Yes.
in relation to Goodn.life. Specifically, our seventh listener, Stephen Bapp, who was like, look, firstly, he's a bit concerned about being limited to one message per day. I'm like, well, you better fucking make it a good one, man. That's the point.
That's the whole point of the fucking
let's keep
thing. Yeah.
Exactly.
Wait, hang on. We need to interrupt
I
this
like stories
story.
about pinatas.
Can I just ask, is Stephen Babb seriously suggesting that the whole platform, the premise for the platform, which is one post per day, on date, we haven't even launched the site yet, and someone's already going, hey, can I do like 2 or maybe 3?
No, he wasn't asking. He's just saying it's going to be hard for him to only post once. So
right. Okay.
That's the
yeah,
site.
no, that's the thing. Yeah, you got to train, steal your mind.
Well, that's the thing. People have been manipulated into like, I have to put every single thought out into the world at all times. Not saying Stephen does. I'm saying that's humanity. That's what we're trying to reduce here.
Yeah.
We're trying to limit it. So when like people would like, remember when you got a postcard, Damo, when you're on holidays?
Not really. No one ever sent us postcards.
You never sent a postcard anyway. We used to go on holidays, and Mum and Dad would take us, and like you can pick one postcard, and you can send it to someone. However, you got to think about what you want to write in there.
Yes.
So you'd spend a few days thinking about it. She's like, well, I've only got 4 lines. What the fuck do I want to write in here? So the pressure was on because I could only tell it now. It'd be like 700 pictures of my holiday. It'd be like every 6-minute updates. I'd be checking in. It'd be no good. So we bring it back to postcard per se. With that said, Stephen asked a very good question. He asked, is like there a rating system so users could know if it was in fact a Goodn, the message.
Are we going to do a thumbs up or a thumbs down? I would suggest the answer is no.
No, definitely no. Definitely no thumbs up, no thumbs down. Now, let's give Stephen a nice Gary because he raises a very good point.
Well, I want to go back to Greeno. You know, it's going to be tough. I think it's just a matter of. I agree with Steve's fucking point, but it's a matter of perspective, right? So think about it. See, you should think about it like this, right? It's very easy to tweet about nothing all day because literally anybody can do that. But it's very difficult to tweet just once and encapsulate it. But think about it, flip it over, right? It should be easier to tweet once per day because you really only have like 100 words or something, 100 characters. That's all you've got. And you have to kind of dig out all the best stuff from your day, right?
Yeah.
Now, for us living our lives, what really happens that's good? Maybe one day on Goodn.life, I'm going to be like, you know what? I had a good cigarette today after work.
Yeah.
It was pleasant and I enjoyed it. And that's it now. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks for coming,
See you guys tomorrow because I've used up my quota for the day.
Just pick the best thing that happened to you that day. It can be an ongoing story time if you like.
Nice, Gary.
Just once per day. That's it.
We like to focus on the positive on this show, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Like, accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, as they say.
In terms of a rating system, it brings up an interesting point. Now, how do you rate? How would you rate when people can only tweet once per day? What metric could we apply to whether or not it is in fact a Goodn? Now, the fact that someone's posting on Goodn.life would suggest to me that it's already a Goodn because it's on Goodn.life. But of course, that's not true, Greeno. And as much as we want it to be true,
ruin it.
there's going to be a lot of fucking dickheads on the internet always, Greeno, isn't there?
That's what happens.
Doing dickhead things, right?
They're gonna try and ruin Goodn.life.
Of course they are. They're going to try and fuck Goodn.life in the arse, Greeno.
Posting non-Goodns, and we don't want that. So
we will open this website, and I guarantee on day one there'll be some fucking Nazi on there or some fucking commie on there, and they'll start trying to use their one Goodn a day to make it to be not a
propaganda.
Yeah, just a proper Goodn. That's actually what we'll call propaganda on Goodn.life, Greeno. Proper Goodn.
Nice, Gary.
Proper Goodn. So we can't have proper Goodn on
Can't have
Goodn.life.
any proper Goodn on that because they'll take away our license. I think what we need is 2 options.
A rating system, because we are going to have to give people
You
the
got
option
it.
of saying, you know what, I don't think that's a Goodn after all.
Exactly.
I've thought about this.
So you're gonna have, yep. You got 2. You got 2 options there. You've got 1 Goodn, 2 no Goodn.
Not
That's
a
it.
Goodn. Is it no
No
Goodn or not a Goodn?
No, so what'll be? It'll be a G emblem. Means Goodn.
Yep.
You got an upside down G emblem.
Yes.
No Goodn.
No good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you post something, you post proper Goodn, and we're gonna have to give you a no Goodn.
In return.
Now, here's the thing though. There's only so many times you can post fucking proper Goodn before we have to, go, look, we need to fix this situation because it defeats the point of the website.
Yes.
So after say a 30-month 30-day period,
Mm-hmm.
if you've had more no Goodns than Goodn, big smacks.
Big smacks. That's the punishment. Big smacks.
That's the punishment, a big smack.
So we don't ban them or anything. We don't kick
Why
them
would
off.
we do that?
No.
That's not the point of Goodn. It's more just kind of like a bit of a tap to go, hey,
Big
like,
smacks.
fix your shit up, hey.
Yeah. Smarten your act up.
You're not posting Goodns here.
No.
The people have voted.
Yeah.
This is no Goodn.
The community
All
thinks
right.
this is no Goodn. Yeah.
This is no Goodn. Like you can still post here. That's the point because you only got 1 a day, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But it's
And
big smacks.
don't go around assuming that being no Goodn is cool because it's not cool, kids.
No,
Don't,
it's
don't
not.
let
No
them
one wants to
fool
be
you
no
into
good.
thinking.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be no good. You want to be good.
because little
generally.
Johnny's going to go to school on Wednesday, and they're like, "Oh, did you see what he posted yesterday?" And he's like, "Yeah, mate, it was a no Goodn." And no one wants to be that kid. No one wants to be the kid that gets the big smacks on Goodn.life
That's right.
at school the next day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He'd be ostracized.
Dude, how young do they start ostracizing, Greeno?
6.
You-
6
age
years of age,
6.
Damo.
Okay.
Age 6.
You're shunned.
Yeah.
You're exiled from this part of the playground.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Exactly.
Fucking kids are into politics, eh? There'll be none of that on Goodn.life.
They'll be loving that.
Yeah.
Now, look, this may all seem like shits and giggles to the people out
This
there.
is
Like,
fucking
"Oh, fucking-"
serious.
No one takes the blog seriously. Now, Damo's fucking forked out some hard earned over here.
$3.70, mate.
$3, sorry. $4 rounded up. So we
For tax purposes.
exactly. Well, tax purposes rounded to 5.
Nice, Gary.
It's right up there. That's a deduction. That's a business expense.
Yeah.
We're all good. So
We're all good and-
everyone's having a bit of a laugh. If I get the block again, blah blah blah. No. You know how I knew this shit was already starting to make waves, Damo?
When we started talking about, I know exactly what you're going to talk about.
Nice,
Yeah.
Gary.
I reckon this this evolved from muted word of the week. I'm telling you.
No, not at all.
This
People are
whole
listening-
train of thought, I reckon, started
It
from
may have,
muted word.
yes.
There's too much shit on Twitter. I've got to mute Harry and Meghan. I'm not banning
Yeah.
anyone, but I don't want to see this fucking spam in my fucking feed anymore. Fuck off.
Yeah.
We've got a muted word of the week every single week now.
Yeah.
Goodn.com
That
is
may have
about
been,
eliminating the need for that.
That may have been the embryo that led to
The embryo.
Goodn.life.
I love it.
But people realized pretty quickly, we only floated this idea last week, and people knew we were serious when Stefan Sears, who does have a blue check mark, Damo.
He does. So it's a real account. It's a real person.
Account. He got the notification our show on Twitter 11 hours late.
11 hours.
Now the
So
show happened to be the episode that we launched a competing platform to Twitter.
That's right.
And suddenly Steph only finds out about our show 11 hours late. Coincidence? I think not, sir.
Yeah, I think this is pure distilled evidence, Greeno, of the machine, the corporate Twitter machine kicking us in the guts. They obviously found out that we were launching, because we not only talked about Goodn.com, which is now Goodn.life, Greeno. We've got to stop saying Goodn.com, by the way.
Yeah, Goodn.life. Yeah, otherwise
Probably get into legal trouble.
Yeah.
And then we really will be trading goats for nappies, Be one of those days. So, this is obviously because we threw down the gauntlet to Elon Musk. We said, like, no, we're going to take him on head on here. Our idea is better. It's a fucking Goodn, and we're going to make it work, and we're going to take Twitter down with our ideology, Greeno. And then, of course, once we made that declaration, that's when, you know, at least one or two of our listeners of 7, you know, 1 or 2 of 7, suggested that they haven't got notifications in the last 10 or 11 hours.
Nice,
Greeno. I mean, call that people would call us a conspiracy nut for suggesting that Twitter was keeping us down, but I think that's clear evidence, isn't it? Obviously,
100% clear evidence. Now, it might have been
Elon
the fact
personally picked up the phone, you know, Kerry Packer style, and said, "Get this shit off my platform. I don't want to know.
I don't want anyone knowing about it."
Yeah.
So we've had crisis meetings.
Yep.
We've come up with an appropriate strategy, and once they've done that, that's when they allow the notification to be released.
And that's,
now,
hopefully that's also when they show up with the big fucking checkbook and go, you know what, why don't we just buy them? Like they say they're going to be a competitor of ours. Let's not fuck around. Just give them, you know, 100 million or something, you know. Like,
that's it. They've already taken over the .life market.
.life.
That no one had thought to do except for us.
Yeah. Live in the .life, Greeno. How do you like that for a fucking slogan?
Goodn, live in the .life. I fucking like it.
Yeah.
There you go. That's the tagline. Goodn,
live in the
life.
.life.
Fucking well done, sir. I don't know where we go from there. That's fucking solid. What are we at? We've been going for almost half an hour. Should we
Let's
take a
go to
break?
break.
Do you like your novelty comedy songs organic? Handmade with painstaking care, put into every note? Well, look no further than Irrational Times. Using only the finest instruments to create an experience that your ears will thank you for later, Irrational Times attempts to elevate the whimsy to a desirable level. New songs and sketches every week, so check it out.
There's a place that we can go to watch old things. All the warm, fuzzy member berries it brings. It's a special little spot tucked away on D-Live. Enjoy the joy of Pessy. Campy old movies and old cartoons. We hope to see you over there very soon. It's our special little spot tucked away on D-Live. Enjoy the joy of Pessy. When we were kids and there wasn't any school, we'd sit and watch all the best cartoons, eating cereal until it was noon. We never thought that 30 years later it'd still be cool. Saturday night and cheesy movies, the ones that used to show us boobies. It's our special little spot tucked away on D-Live. Enjoy the joy of Pessy. Enjoy the joy of Pessy. Enjoy the joy of Pessy.
Now with less than 3% sport content. It's the starting block on tavshow.com.
Yes, welcome back to the block, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. And you know what? Normally I'd say something about Twitter here, but I'm not going to. Fuck Twitter. If you want to follow us, go to goodn.life. How about that?
Nice,
That's it. Get on board.
Yep.
Damo, quick story time if I can, sir.
I like stories about
What a
pinatas.
story.
Talk last week about eye surgery I had while we were off during that particular period.
Yep.
Now, it was in the recovery phase over the last week, right? So,
Were you working during the recovery phase, or?
half and half. So I had to have a week off work and then had to go back to work this week.
Right.
So this is the first full week I've done in fucking forever.
And obviously, if you're not aware, people at home, Greeno's not affected by blindness at work because he's actually a clay sculptor, like in Ghost. So that's what he
go.
does for a living. He makes ashtrays and pots and stuff.
Yeah.
And, turns them into beautiful works of art with his bare hands. It's fantastic.
Mhm.
It's very sexual.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why he's never wearing a shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's ghost style. I like it. So in the cafe, and once again, when you're talking about any kind of surgery, got to be meticulous with the post operative instructions, right?
Yeah.
Got to make sure I'm following it because I don't want to fuck shit up. Especially when it comes to your site, you don't want to mess around with that. Got to make sure things are going to go all good. Don't want to mess around with the eyes. So,
sir, we've just put the staples in your stomach. We don't suggest going to fucking Sizzler and hitting the pasta bar.
Exactly. Avoid the
Stay
pasta
away from
bar.
the pasta bar.
Yeah. Avoid the Sizzler bread. You'll be all good. So tried to do the right thing. Now got to last week. A lot of the post recovery is rest and also a shit ton of eye drops. Right.
Okay. How many eye drops are we talking here? Like, are we talking 3 times a day, 4 times a day, every hour or two? How severe is your eye drop situation?
There were 4 individual different drops that had to be done, and they had to be done intermittently between 2 and 4 hours each per course of the day.
That's a slog. That's a regimen.
I was doing about fucking 40 drops a day.
Wow.
It was a fair bit. I spent my entire time. I had to get a whiteboard, Damo.
Yeah, that's a schedule that you've got there.
It was legit a schedule. I got a whiteboard in the bedroom. I had the drop thing up there. I had to tick them off when I was done because I'm like, what am I up to? I'm up to
had notifications going off in Outlook,
Greeno.
Greeno.
Everywhere. I just assumed it was like Goodn.live fucking followers, but no, it was like, another drop, get it in there. Yeah. So before the weekend though, because obviously the doctors don't work on the weekends, I'm like, look, I got to do these particular, and these were the prescription drops, the ones I had to do. Mm-hmm. These ones, I'm like, I'm a bit fucking light. I got to do these bad boys for 2 weeks. What if I run out over the weekend?
Oh boy.
So caught up Friday, and I'm like, look, first thing 9 a.m. Look, gates open. Better give them a bus. And I'm like, look, not sure if I got to do another like 6 days of these bad boys. Looking pretty light. Can I get a new script for these ones? Like, yep, no worries. We'll email the rooms. They'll give you a call once it's available.
Okay. I'm going to have to interrupt your story.
Pinatas.
I'm going to have to interrupt your story now because my opinion is whenever something sounds, after having gone through many of these kinds of similar situations, Greeno, whenever you're dealing with anything health related, even if it's not for you or someone else, there's always fucking unforeseen hurdles, like some bullshit fucking thing that happens. And now at this point, whenever I hear, no, that's going to be fine, it's not a problem, I think, you know what? Fucking bullshit, because I know what's going to happen. I'm going to go down there and I'm going to explain this to someone and they're going to look at me like I'm the fucking idiot and they're going to go, no, actually, you need to go to that fucking desk over there.
Nice,
and it's actually a completely different fucking department. No, I don't know who told you that, but we don't have blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt your story, but this is already triggering me.
Pinatas.
No, and fair warned. So I'm expecting a call throughout the course of the day from the other rooms. And once again, I don't like to be the annoying dude. I'm like, look, I've made the request. Fucking, we're all good. Now, similar to what you just pointed out, I preempted this issue. So I called a day earlier than I probably needed to. I had enough to get me through to Monday.
Yep.
But I'm like, I need a safety net here. Like, if it doesn't come Friday, at least I'm still good and I'm right for Monday.
That's it.
So gets to the end of Friday, no phone call.
Oh, boy.
So I'm like, well, fucking, what's going on here? 9 a.m. Monday morning, fucking Greeno's on the blower. Then I'm like, hey, I rang on Friday. You said you were going to email the other rooms. They were going to call me with a script, blah, 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 blah.
Here it comes.
And they're like, yeah, you send the email, sir.
No, it's just so easy. You just send an email. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
Oh, they didn't call you. And I'm like, well, would I be calling if they called me?
Nice, Gary.
So they're like,
we wouldn't be having. You think I'm calling you because I want to hear about your fucking kids? I'm not interested. Where's my stuff?
I'm calling because you've given me these prescription things, told me I had to take them for 2 weeks, and I've run out.
You didn't give me enough dosage.
I thought might happen. I've called you, and you haven't called me back to give me the new script. What's going on? Like, oh, no worries. Once again, we'll follow them up, and they'll give you a call today with the new script.
I'm sure they will, because you've got all the confidence in the world that they'll actually do this at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So at that point, I'm like, quick hypothetical for you. I'm like, let's say they don't call me back, or they don't give me, I don't get this script today.
Yes.
What happens to my eyes if I can't put these drops in for the next 4 days, as you told me you have to do? Oh, nothing. It'll be fine.
What?
well, hang on. Why did you tell me I have to put the drops in for 2 weeks then? So I'm like, is this the thing where you want me to pay more money to, like, oh, I got to do the drops 2 weeks? But I don't really need the drops for 2 more weeks. What's the point of the usage period if I don't really need to use them for the
we sign a supplier contract with the manufacturer of this product, and we get a certain commission every time a certain amount of units are moved through the system, Greeno. I mean,
well, they didn't get a good commission because they still didn't fucking write me the script because at the end of the day passed, Damo. And I still didn't get a fucking phone call. Now, at this point, Greeno's doing the math in his head. He's like, well, I've called him twice. They still haven't given me a script. So obviously, it's not that imperative I have these drops, right? Because if it was like a life or death situation, surely, Damo, surely they would have called me and got the script to me.
But
in some way, shape, or form.
You also have to think, well, now, the person who told me that it doesn't matter if I take these things or not, now, it's at that point I start thinking about, well, how much can I trust that person? Because I am putting a lot of weight on their opinion at that point. Like, no, it's fine. Now, that particular person might be someone who does not give a single fuck about their job and just didn't want to chase up the product and thought, I'll just get rid of this fucking guy. No, you don't have to take it. It's not a problem. Don't worry about it. Just so they don't have to do the extra legwork. That would be a possibility at that point, you know. So
that is true. Now, with that said, though, Greeno's got the call logs. Greeno's got the notes.
Yeah.
So if shit fucking goes down, Greeno's got the records, and I can get a nice.
As the kids would say these days, Greeno, you got the receipts, Greeno.
Got the receipts just to cover my ass there. Now, once again, I've done
Greeno keeps all of his receipts, by the way.
Yeah. I've done the math at that particular point.
At all the points.
And thought about it. I'm like, look, realistically, I've run out of the drops with 2 days left out of a 14-day period.
Right. What's the worst that can happen?
These are like anti-infection, anti-steroid, like all these kind of things. Surely, if I've done 12 of the 14, I should be out of the bad zone.
I'm young. I'm fit. I'll recover. My body's good. Let's go. I'm good.
Yeah, let's just let this bad boy roll.
14 must be the worst case scenario they give to old people and babies. You know, like it doesn't apply to me. Surely, I'll be fine.
It'd be fine. So, so I'm like, I'm gonna roll the dice here.
Roll the dice.
I'm just gonna go without the things. Turns out, didn't need that script. I saved myself $45.
No, Gary can pump that money straight back into Goodn.life.
Straight into Goodn.life.
$45 of savings.
We got domain names covered.
Well, we've just paid off the website for the next 10 years with that windfall. So fantastic work, Greeno. Love it.
Exactly. So all's well that ends well.
What a great story.
I like stories about pinatas.
Really does question the importance of duration of certain medical treatments.
Yes.
When
very important.
Turns out you couldn't be bothered to give me a script or return my call after fucking 2 days.
Yeah.
So
and that's how that's when you learnt that, you know, modern medicine ain't all she's cracked up to be. Like, no. You need a prescription for this particular medication. Okay. Can I get a script? No. Do I need to take it? Nah.
You'll be all right. Well, why'd you tell me to take it 2 weeks then? I've got a fucking schedule here where I'm putting drops in my eyes every 6 seconds. Apparently I don't need these drops every 6 seconds. We'll be all good.
You're saying I'll be able to play piano again? That's incredible.
Wow. So good.
Yeah.
Damo,
Inspiring.
Let's have a look at some heroes out here in the world if we can, sir.
Sure.
We talk about and once again, I'm glad you named this episode Goodn.
Good.
Because, you know,
we're starting a revolution here at Goodn.life, Greeno. I'm telling you.
We are, because this is what Goodn.life is going to filter out, I hope, anyway.
Just the best of the best.
People that really feel the need to film every single aspect of their life and post it on social media, no matter how mundane. Now, sometimes, this is a percentage of the population, and then we've got a percentage that I like to refer to as heroes, Damo.
The heroes.
Who want to take no part in this and just feel the need to kind of point out the stupidity of it to the people there. So let's watch this one. This is No Context Brits, who I'm sure will love us over at Goodn.life, want to jump on board and come on over to that particular platform.
All the big accounts will be heading over to Goodn.life, Greeno.
Yeah, exactly.
Hi guys, so I've just been for my morning run, so I just went 5k today. So
I've been no audio to this.
Staying hydrated. It's a bit hard and it's cold these mornings, but
Because this is going to be a lot of. This is 2 minutes of dead air on the podcast.
No, there's audio. Can you hear it?
I'm just filming.
Oh, here we go. Yep, let's go back to the start, shall we?
Okay.
Pump up that audio.
Hi guys, so I've just been for my morning run, so I just ran 5k today. So I've been eating healthy,
today.
staying hydrated, but it's a bit hard and it's cold these mornings. But
Okay.
Alright, so for the podcast listeners, the lady is filming a video talking about her exercise.
Yep.
An old mate has just popped up and he's sitting on a park bench behind her now.
Okay. Are you all right to go to another park bench? You're just in the shot and I'm filming.
Right, this is a bench that I sit on every day. So, you know, there's plenty of room in this park. So, all you've got to do is just ask us to move the camera around then.
I can't move it because it's on the tripod.
Come on, I'm just waiting for the phone. Oh, it's not alright.
Just being a fucking asshole to her.
The legs are resting anyway. So
My legs are resting.
Legs are resting. I'm a little bit tired. You can't move off the bench.
I'm actually applying that.
You're going to be online now if they want to see you.
I don't care, he goes.
What, do you mean my face is ruining your
wanted to
shot?
see me and
My face is ruining your shot. Behave yourself.
I'll move then.
Well, that's how much you do.
Oh, I don't want to move.
There is a bench literally up there.
Why didn't you go film that bench then?
They're still very polite to each other, aren't they, Greeno?
It is,
In some
yeah.
countries, you'd have been shot by now if you kept
Exactly.
I
talking.
don't like the answer, don't ask the question.
I was nice, but now I'm kind of telling you. You're in the shop now.
You're telling me?
You're telling me? Oh.
You're not going to want to see an old man sat.
Oh, I'm an old man now. Are you bringing ages into our love? Yeah. Just gotta go on for the age.
Look, I'm just saying that you've been my shot and I'm trying
God,
to
he's fucking got a good point there.
There.
It's a live stream, this is live.
Right.
He's got a good fucking point there, Greeno. She's like, oh, they don't want to see an old man sitting in a bench. Oh, I'm old. I may be an ageist now, aren't you? Why don't you go back to school? And she goes, did you just say go back to school? And he goes, yeah. And she goes, who do you think you are?
Nice, Gary!
Oh, you fucking idiot. Well done. Fantastic. It's still going, this thing.
Carry on, man.
Well, I can't carry on while you're in the background. Why not? Because you're in the shot, like you can see you.
Yeah.
You're literally in the shot. Yeah.
Oh, hello.
How do you know what
My
people
followers,
want
I
to see?
know what my followers want to
Your
see.
followers?
Yeah,
Oh,
because
you're
this is
Jesus
for my
now,
followers.
Alright,
They
okay.
want to see you flat there in the shot.
And what sort of fitness program is it?
Look, following my fitness journey.
Following my
Journey.
fitness journey. Oh, you're on a journey.
Alright, well, I'm staying off.
It's not fair, is it?
Oh. If I'm that snowflake brigade, it's not fair.
Are you from Snowflake? Great.
Nice,
Gary. Man in the back.
Uh,
I don't need to hear about your fitness journey, to be fair.
No.
To that lady. And that guy's more entertaining than anything than possibly could have been on said fitness journey.
It was worth it just because every comment was just so dry. Sinister Charlie in the chat, Greeno, says, seems like it might be staged, but everything is fake on the internet. He's got a point. Nice, Gary.
Nice, Gary!
And that's hopefully why on Goodn.life we won't, it's only going to be the truth, obviously, because you only get one shot at it, Greeno. Why would you
get one
waste
shot
it
at-
on Goodn? What were we calling the shit again? Proper Goodn? Proper
Goodn, no Goodn.
Yeah, no Goodn or
proper-
Goodn,
proper
proper
Goodn.
Goodn. You're not going to waste it on proper Goodn, Greeno.
We don't want no proper Goodn on there.
No, that's right.
So keep that off the site.
Yeah.
That'll be filtered out quick. That's fine.
That's it. No good.
Like I said, the people will speak, Damo. They'll let people know this is not the shit we want to see.
Yeah. The
we're
people
gonna
will
see,
speak. The people will speak, and they'll let their voices be heard. But again, only once per day. That's the rule.
Yeah.
You only get one
That's all we
post
need.
a day. Yeah.
Yeah. Damo fans, the pump last night. They were a little bit pumped.
Blockheads. Yeah.
Do you want to know why they were pumped, Damo?
Why? Tell me.
Thursday night footy, baby.
Thursday night footy. It's back, is it? Nice, Gary.
Thursday night footy was back.
What sport are we talking about? NRL or
NRL, that's right. Thursday night footy was back on the NRL. A bit
what?
earlier
Last
than
night
usual.
was it? Or
Yeah, it was last night.
that is
Once again,
early.
I-
I'm not expecting I'm not expecting to see football again for a few weeks. Am I wrong?
Yeah, because AFL doesn't kick off for a while yet, right?
I don't think so. I know they're doing pre-season at the minute, like pre-season games and stuff, but I don't actually know when the first game is.
Yeah, I think they're like 3 weeks away off memory.
It feels a little early for football, I think.
Yeah, NRL started early because they brought in a pointless new team this year. Yeah. Even though they got a bye, they've expanded the season. So
the way it's supposed to go is cricket season ends, and then you've really only got like kind of golf and tennis for the next month or so. Then motorsport kind of starts getting started again, and then footy season starts.
And footy, I like my footy kind of mid-March personally.
Yeah,
but,
I like a late March, mid-March, exactly. You know, like. What are we on the 3rd? This seems kind of early.
It seems a bit early for footy, personally. We're literally 3 days out of summer.
Yeah,
and you're already like footy time. Footy's a winter sport. Like
it really is. That's fucking nice, Gary.
Nice,
it's supposed to be a winter sport. They're starting the sport 3 months before winter. So I mean, the season's going to be near over by the time we get to winter.
By the time winter's over, exactly.
So I guess it's what, an autumn sport, Greeno, now.
It's now an autumn. It's more an autumn sport than it is a winter sport these days.
There you go.
There you go. We learned something today. Hope no one's playing on Monday. By the way, it's going to be like 40 degrees out west. So it's going to be a bit harsh to play footy, and that's no good. That's no good.
No good.
Now I didn't even realise the footy was starting. To be fair, because once again, seems too early. I thought it was still a couple of weeks away. So I was shocked when I turned on TV yesterday. I'm like, oh, footy's on. There you go.
Yeah.
But the NRL fans, man, they lapped it up, and this kind of defeats the point of this segment because it actually fucking rated all right.
Rated its tits off, Greeno.
Came in at number 7 with 455,000 people watching. And don't get me wrong, it's half as much as the news.
And it's the first time in the top 10 for a long time for NRL Thursday night footy. The AFL Friday night, the Thursday night games even get you regularly in the top 10.
Dominates the NRL. But so let's enjoy week 1 while we can. They got number 7 there. And here's the big upset. Yeah. Gogglebox down at 10.
Gogglebox has been relegated, Greeno.
Has 40,000 people more tuning in to Thursday Night Footy than they did Gogglebox.
Wow.
Now, I don't know whether it was a new episode of Gogglebox or not, the Crazy Malarkers. I forgot to check that out.
Maybe there's shitty people on Gogglebox these days. You know, how many entertaining private citizens are there out there really, you know? I reckon after a couple of seasons of Gogglebox, you'd probably run through most of them.
You probably would. Now, here's the other thing as well. I'm looking through this list of top 20, right? I'm like, none of these shows seem overly appetizing. And I kind of like come to the realization of, is anyone actually watching free-to-air TV anymore?
I don't think so. No.
Even though it's number 7 in the ratings, which is all well and good, well done, tip of the hat, nice Gary to Thursday Night Footy. When your main competitor at number 8 is only 5,000 less, is fucking home and away.
They literally don't care about the ratings anymore, other than it's a bit of a circle jerk and a reason for them to flex over their direct competitors, you know, but the ratings don't equal income or anything anymore, you know, not so much as it used to.
And it'd be clicks and streams more than it would be ratings anymore. Like I said, I think I told the story on the show before. Like we had to take our antenna out of the house because it was causing leaks when we had all the rain. And we're like, oh yeah, no worries. Like, it's all good. We'll patch it all up, and we'll eventually get an antenna. And it's been 2 years. We just never bothered.
No, you don't need it.
Because it's like, well, I'll stream it. It's fine. It'll be all good.
Yeah.
Don't need free to wear. Like you work around it.
Exactly. And if you think about it, like if you'll notice, you know, the streaming services have just become free to air, except you pay for it. Like, so you still now they roll out ads. You know. The free-to-air channels roll out the ads at the start. Like, so if you go to the 9 app or the 7 app or whatever, it's just free-to-air TV, except, you know, you can pick and choose what you want to watch. Fair enough. But you're still going to get the free-to-air experience. You're still going to get commercial breaks and stuff. But now they're actually doing that similar thing about Netflix, for example, right? You know, now you can get the budget option of Netflix. It's like, yeah, you can watch the whole series, but we're going to put ads in it. And it's like, well, then it's basically just free to air TV.
I'm not paying for it anymore.
It's pay TV at that point.
Yeah.
Right. So that. Eventually, we're all just going to be moved onto pay. It's been a slow-moving strategy, but it's working a treat. Eventually, everyone will be on pay TV, and it'll be more than likely streaming on the internet. Even YouTube will go to a pay TV model, at some point. At some point, they'll say, you know what, if you want to keep using,
because you can pay to have no ads on YouTube.
That's right, you can pay to have no ads, but eventually, and it might be a decade or two or something like that, if YouTube is still around, and I suspect they will be because it's part of Google, and I don't think Google's going anywhere anytime soon. So, eventually, TV shows will be produced by, where you have like a Netflix exclusive show, there'll be YouTube exclusive movies, and there'll be big productions. And in order to stay part of that loop, you'll have to pay a monthly subscription to YouTube from now on,
It's our work over the cashola.
Yeah, and while you're there, you can also subscribe to your favorite, cooking video maker and, your favorite lifestyle, the person. You follow that kooky girl who talks about crystals and dolphins all the time, you can follow her as well if you want. And you can also watch the next Marvel movie, for example, or whatever it is, So that'll happen as well at some point. They're basically, everything has been monetized. Every aspect of life is now monetized, and you can't escape it anymore.
YouTube is a very good example. I was talking the other day about slowly but surely YouTube has become almost unwatchable, whereby how many ads are being fucking thrown in.
Oh yeah, a 10-minute video, you can get 3 or 4 ads in it.
4 ad breaks. I'm like, what the fuck is this, man? And if you don't want the ads, you can pay for them. I'm like, no, it's fucking YouTube.
And you think
I'm watching shit.
And you think, oh fuck this, the guy who made this video for putting all these ads in. It's not necessarily his fault either, because I've watched videos with 200 views, and it has fucking ads breaking up halfway through. It has ads,
exactly.
I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah. This person is not making any money here. They've got 200 views. If anything, it's costing them money, So,
quick question, anyone who watches our show on YouTube, and there are actually a couple of people who check it out on YouTube, get in touch with us. Really? Let us know if there's any interruption, because we sure as shit are not getting paid anything. So if anything interrupts, because we do an hour and a half, that YouTube stream should be ad-free, except for Don Camara. So if Don Camara pops up, that one's all good.
Yeah.
Anything else, we ain't getting paid
if you get a pop-up that says half price on box turtles, that's okay. That one's
legit. Fine. Gorgeous blonde assistants, also fine. Outside of that, definitely let us know. There are a couple of people that post messages on YouTube every week for us to say, talk about the show. Definitely post and let us know if any ads pop up, because that's something we have to look into, because we want that might pay for fucking Goodn.life if we are actually getting ads put into our YouTube clips without us knowing.
Yeah, well, that could pay off Goodn.life. In 4 or 5 years, Greeno, I reckon we could get milk $4 out of YouTube. 4 or 5 years, I think.
Yeah. We'll get there. Get there.
It'll be tough, but it's a goal.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Next demo. Sporting polygamy. I saw this, and this kind of bugs me. I've seen a few sports do this. Where you've got sporting teams who try and get the best of both worlds, kind of like a hermaphrodite, if you will, where they want 2 different fan bases but don't want to commit either way.
So you're saying the problem with hermaphrodites is they can't commit.
To one or the other.
Brilliant. It's a question of commitment. That's all.
Yeah. So I saw this the other week. So GWS, which is Western Sydney.
Yeah.
I repeat, the Western Sydney Giants.
Yep.
We're talking about having 2 cities as their home team. Now, don't get me wrong, they've played games down in Canberra to, in inverted commas, expand the sport and show it to other areas or whatnot, which is basically just a big cash grab, because they probably get more people down in Canberra than they do in Western Sydney, to be fair. You know better about this as a lifetime member of the club.
Mm-hmm.
But when you start kind of dipping your foot in both to go, we want to make it official, both cities are our home team.
Yeah.
No, if they're next door to each other, maybe you're like, oh, we can expand it.
No, that's not even true, because if they're next door to each other, the likelihood is they'll fucking hate each other's guts.
Yeah.
So you can't have that either. Remember when they tried to merge North Sydney and Manly, and they were like, "Are you fucking kidding? These two parts, they hate each other, man.
They hate each other, but they weren't next to each other. To be fair, it didn't make sense.
Well, geographically, they're the two northern, but they were the only two teams like on the north side of Sydney. You know what I mean? So they hated each other's guts. And the same thing would happen. Yeah, I'd really dislike the whole like we're a two city team. You can't be.
You can't be, and
because the whole success or failure of a team ultimately, especially if you're trying to start a team, you can have marketing strategies and the star players and the star coaches, and you can win premierships or whatever. You can do all of that stuff, but ultimately the only way that a team in whatever sport succeeds is if their tribalism is allowed to run rampant. That's what the necessary ingredient is. If people don't get passionate enough about the team to make it theirs because, hey, this is our town, our team, fuck you. If that doesn't happen, the team fucking dies and it goes to a town where people do that for them, you know, because they're the ones who buy the tickets. They're the ones who buy the fucking hot dogs and the beers at the ground. They're the ones who, you know, go travel with the team and buy finals tickets and buy merchandise and shirts and stuff. They're the ones that you need to impress more than anybody else. So if you if you're trying to say, well, we'll get twice as many fans because we'll be from two cities, it doesn't necessarily work like that, because the people in the city are not going to be 100% invested. You know why? Because you're not 100% invested, and that's just a fact. Now that I've been, you're right, I have been a lifetime member of the team and gone to every single game basically. Missed a few here and there, don't get me wrong, but more or less I'd say like 80% of the games for the last 12 years, something like that.
Yeah, easy.
And you know, but that's me. But that's not speaking for everybody else in the city. So there's a lot of people in the city who are like, well, are they a Sydney team or a Canberra team? Like, you know, so because you haven't gone 100% fucking balls deep into the situation, have you? You've tried to play it, you know, both sides of the fence. You can't do that. It's not fair for the people of Canberra either.
No, 100%.
So what are you saying? They're not good enough to have their own team? Like they're good enough for a percentage of some other city's team, but not their own.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Yeah, if they don't have enough of a fan base to support a full season in one team, fuck it, they can have a little bit of this one.
Yeah, like we're selling shares in the fucking franchise to other cities. Fucking what's going on?
I don't mean to, but that's not rugby league with MLB. But Tampa Bay.
Should we hang on? Let me find the fucking. Here we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Is this the long version or the short version?
I think it's a long version.
But that's no aye, it's delicious.
I do miss, but that's not rugby leagues. That would involve me like reading mainstream media again and listening to radio again.
Life.
Yeah, can't be doing that. Fuck that. Not even worth it for the segments, if you will. But that's not MLB. The Tampa Bay Rays tried to pull this stunt a couple of years ago because no one likes baseball in Tampa Bay, right? They got a shit stadium.
What's in Tampa Bay? What else is in Tampa Bay? So that's nothing. Florida, right? Tampa?
Yeah.
I thought Tampa's a nice town, isn't it?
It's a nice town, but no one cares about baseball because their stadium's a hunk of shit.
What do they do in Florida? Football, mostly, I guess.
Yeah, it's a big football state, that one.
Yeah. NASCAR. Are they big?
Yeah, they love the NASCAR down there, exactly. Yeah. So, but baseball, not so much. So Tampa Bay struggled for crowds the entire time they've been around. So last year they floated this idea where they were trying to sell half their games to Montreal.
Selling games.
Nice, so they were kind of like, what we're going to do is we're going to play.
How much is another city going to pay us to buy into the team? They're selling off shares of ownership.
Selling off shares. It's like a share house. So what they were trying to do is, because they were trying to, basically, it's a whole strategy, political strategy, where they're trying to get a new stadium built. Mm-hmm. And they're like, well,
didn't Oakland try this then a few years ago?
Everyone does it. Okay. Everyone does it. Oakland is still trying it. They still haven't got a new stadium. They're about to get moved to Vegas.
Yeah.
So they're like, if we don't get a new stadium, we're gonna have to find other avenues. We're gonna go to Montreal for half our home games.
Can I just ask, how are you gonna sell the Moneyball ideology in fucking Las Vegas, man? Because that is a town built on frivolous income, you know, spendable, frivolous, fucking expendable income, you know. So how are you going to sell the Moneyball philosophy? The Las Vegans aren't going to take that. They're going to be like, we are a city that literally exists to drain the ordinary person of all of their life savings.
Every bit of cash. Yeah.
How can we not have the richest team in the country? You know, so the Las Vegas A's will probably just go and they'll become the Yankees of the 22nd century, Greeno. Loving life. And all of the members of the Las Vegas A's will just be pensioners in Hawaiian shirts and those little white hats.
I like it. Now we're talking.
Fantastic.
Now we're talking.
Yep.
I think we closed off the Bassett Rugby League. We talked about that already. What do we got next? Fuck, man, I really should look at the rundown instead of actually just getting distracted chit-chatting.
Girls basketball team
Damo.
in Vermont. Yeah, this
we got a bit of equality.
Okay,
I like this.
Girls basketball team withdraws from state tournament in protest of trans-identified male player. Fucking bigots, Greeno.
Dick.
Sound like a bunch of bigots to me.
Yeah.
A girls basketball team has withdrawn from the Vermont Division 4 state tournament after refusing to compete against a team with trans-identified male player, Greeno. Again, bigotry. The Mid-Vermont Christian School Eagles forfeited their playoff. Were they going to win anyway? I mean,
Nice, Gary!
it's easy to forfeit if you're going to lose. Look, I'm thinking that if I'm a betting man, Greeno, I would put my money on the Mid-Vermont Christian School Eagles lacrosse team. I probably wouldn't put my money on the Mid-Vermont Christian School Eagles basketball team, okay? Just being honest here.
Putting it out there.
Putting it out there. After learning that LTS star player Rose Johnson is male, and now see, this article is obviously bigoted as well because they say male, and of course it's not correct to identify people.
Dick! As male or female.
Or having a dick.
You know. Dick! Yeah.
Equally. Equality. In an email sent to Vermont Valley News, MVS head coach Vicky Fogg, which is a great name, wrote, "We believe playing against an opponent with a biological male jeopardizes the fairness of the game and the safety of our players. Allowing biological males to participate in women's sports sets a bad precedent for the future of women's sports in general." I disagree. I'm going to give this coach and I dick move as well. Because I disagree. I think it's going to enrich women's sports, Greeno. Because let's be fair here. If the women played more like men, more people would watch it. So, if you want women's sport to succeed, you should really want it to be played by men. Okay.
Nice, Gary!
Because then women's sport is going to take off and make a lot of money. You know what I mean? Like, you're not thinking this through. You're not playing the long game here.
Nah.
Right? I want women's sport to succeed. What does men's sport have that women's sport doesn't have? Men.
Males. Yeah.
So if we put the men in the women's sports, then the women's sport will be just as popular as the men's sport.
Nice, Gary!
I like where your head's at.
Fucking fixing it, mate.
Yeah. It's all about fixes. Let's move on from that one. Let's back it up. Well, let's talk about women's sport, Damo. It's not often we do a women's sports segment on this particular show.
Yeah.
But I'm so batshit crazy earlier this week. This was, I don't even know what tournament it was. I think it was like the women's one-day international final.
Yep.
Could have been the T20 final. I really don't know.
Yeah, I guess Women's National Cricket League. Is there a National Cricket League for sports?
Yeah, so I don't know whether this is the one-day tournament or this is the T20
Sheffield
tournament.
Shield?
I assume
Okay.
it's definitely not Sheffield Shield because they're wearing coloured clothes. So I think
they weren't wearing mini skirts and stuff.
I think it was the 50 over game.
Oh, okay.
This was the final over in a grand final, Damo.
Okay.
Now, for context, South Australia, who were batting, only needed 4 runs to win.
Yep.
Going into this over. It went first ball wicket. So also they had 5 wickets left.
Okay, 5 wickets left, 4 runs to win.
4 runs to get, and you got 1 over. I think you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
Wicket, bowled swinging wildly.
I mean, literally just knock it around for 4 singles, you know?
Yeah. Calm single next, 3 runs to win.
Yeah.
Then they decided to come down the stumps. It was a wicket stumping. Then there was another wicket with the non-strikers run out with the deflection. Then you had wicket LBW. So now you've got 1 wicket left and you've still got 3 runs to get. And then it was a single to mid-off, and then run out trying to come back for the tying run.
Fantastic.
So they took 5 for 2 in the final over to win the grand final. The most insane final over I've ever seen in my life.
That has got to be, unfortunately for the South Australian ladies, that has got to be that's got to be the biggest choke I've ever seen. Like that, I can't think of an equivalent. Like, because to be fair, choking in other sports, like if you choke in a football game, you're like 30 points up, but it takes a half or a whole quarter to choke.
Yeah.
You know, this whole thing has happened in 5 minutes, usually like 5 to 6 minutes to bowl and over, isn't it? So this has happened like literally in the last 5 minutes of a game that's probably gone all fucking day, you know? And they're so far in front. They've like, it would be like having to score 6 touchdowns in a row with 6 plays in a row, you know, like as soon as every punt return has to be a touchdown, you know, basically. So yeah, that's fucking wild stuff. That's got to be the biggest choke ever.
Yeah, 5 for 2 in the final over is insane. Apparently they lost 7 for 20 to end their innings, chasing an achievable target. So well done there. Did you watch much of the test? No,
I haven't.
The third test?
No, what happened?
Oh, we won.
I know they won. Yeah,
we finally won. It was
didn't win the series though.
Nah, well, series can be drawn if we win the final test, but because we don't hold the Border Govs Cup trophy, we've already lost what actually matters. But secured our spot in the World Test Championship final, which is good.
Against
the Oval, to be determined.
Okay, who's it between?
New Zealand, India, India, and Sri Lanka. Maybe still have a chance.
South Africa after we pasted them out here, like embarrassingly.
That's a very fucking good question. I got to look up who's second in the World Test Championships.
Yeah.
Who would it be? It wouldn't be New Zealand or England because England were way down.
Well, New Zealand should be up there, I think. They've just beaten England.
A couple. Oh, what about that test against
England?
England and New Zealand went down to the 1-run.
Yeah, the follow-on test.
Victory in the end. Yeah,
they won after being having the follow-on enforced on them, and they ended up winning. England choked at the end of that one.
Yeah, they did. It was sensational. Why is this so hard to find? Let's go to ladder.
If only someone was posting this on Goodn.com, you know.
We'd already have this. Yeah. India's currently second. Sri Lanka is currently third.
India. Okay, so it'll be against India then, I guess.
It looks like it'll be Australia versus India. Sri Lanka, South Africa's fourth, actually.
Okay.
So Australia's got a 68% winning percentage during this period in number one.
Yep.
Secured their spot. India is second with 60.29 and Sri Lanka's third with 53.33. So
it'll be against India, but it should be here then, shouldn't
India in at the Oval after just playing the series we played, like that'd be good. And
it's at the Oval in England, is it?
Yeah, in England, because I think they try and play a neutral ground.
Okay.
Which is good. I don't mind that. Not good for us because we suck on like seaming wickets, but you know, good preparation for the Ashes. It's following the World Test Championship. I don't care too much about the World Test Championship. I'd rather get a nice little prep for the Ashes, but
we're going to need it. We're going to need it too, I think, because it looks like they're going to wheel out fucking poor old Jimmy Anderson again for one more Ashes series. Believe it or not,
well, he's still
fucking playing for England.
And
we can't get rid of this fucking guy, though.
And the dude just seems pedestrian, but he's like taking 600 Test wickets, something stupid like that.
Yep. He's just these days he's not quick at all. He's just a wily old fucking character, you know.
Ooh.
He knows where to put it to make it so the batsman can't hit it. He's not even necessarily trying to get people out anymore. He's just trying to make it hard to hit, and then that makes the batsman get themselves out half the time, you know.
Well, he just puts in the right areas, has just enough movement, and, you know, that does the job.
So what is he, like 42 now or something? 41?
Looking up as we speak. He's 41 years of age at the moment, turning 40. Yeah, turned 40. Oh, no, so 40 at the moment, turning 41 later this year.
How much longer can he go? He's got to be... I know he's not... Graham Gooch was... Yeah, I know. Graham Gooch was like 45 when he retired, but he was a batsman. It's not the same. I don't think.
685 Test wickets at a bowling average of 25.99. What a career, man.
Maybe he'll get to 700 and call it a day.
When you think, he'll get 700 easy.
No, McGrath isn't even 700. Warney's 700, isn't he?
Oh, let's have a look. Yeah, McGrath's nowhere near.
McGrath's like 550 or something, I think.
Leading... No, McGrath's 600, isn't he?
600?
Test, because... Leading Test wicket takers. Here we go. What do we got? Oh, no, you are right. Yeah, he's third all time, Jimmy Anderson.
Yeah. What's
behind
McGrath's?
Murley and Warney.
Yeah. Murley's got, what, 750?
800?
800.
Oh, actually, he's in striking distance of Warney, James Anderson.
Yeah.
So 800 for Murley, number 1, 708 for Warney at 2, 685 Anderson at 3.
Where's McGrath?
McGrath is 563. Broad has overtaken him with 576 wickets.
Who?
Stuart Broad has more wickets than Glenn McGrath.
Yeah, well, again, Broad started when he was like 19 or 20, didn't he?
He's also played 40 more tests than Glenn McGrath as well, to be fair.
Yeah, exactly.
Jimmy Anderson has played 60 more than McGrath.
Yeah.
So
that just shows how good McGrath was. Yeah.
That's just but Jimmy Anderson, we really don't think about him. Like, I don't think of him as an all-time great, to be fair, but
he's got to be. He has
wickets at 25.
He just has to be in the conversation. Like that's.
Well, he's going to
his longevity,
Warney.
but his longevity has to be part of the equation in regards to all-time greats. It's a bit like Tendulkar. So part of the reason that Tendulkar is one of the all-time greats is because he was able to get the absolute most out of his career and played for such a long time. That's also something to pin to put your hat on. You know what I mean? That's also something to recognize as a skill in somebody if they've got longevity.
Yeah, very
Jimmy
much so.
Anderson. Jimmy Anderson, like he'll have to go down as. He has to go down as the fast bowler with the longest lifespan. Before that, I would have thought like Curtly Ambrose went for a long time. Courtney Walsh went for a very long time.
No.
Courtney Walsh was like 40
when
he retired.
Well, Jimmy Anderson debuted in 2003.
Yeah.
So he's been playing for 20 years.
Yeah.
Courtney Walsh, 84 to 2001. So he only got to 17 years. So he's already 3 years less.
Yeah, right.
Who was the other one you said?
Curtly Ambrose.
Curtly Ambrose. He only did 12 years.
Did he really? Wow.
Yeah, still 405 wickets though in 98 matches.
Yep.
It's probably about 15th or 16th all the time,
feel
which
like,
is crazy.
What about like a Sean Pollock?
Sean Pollock, he's here. He played for only 13 years.
Alan Donald?
Alan Donald is here, but he only played for 10 years.
Wow.
So Jimmy Anderson has had a career double most of the other bowlers, or fast bowlers anyway.
Fast bowlers. Spinners are a different story altogether because it's different.
Well, for context, so Jimmy Anderson's a fast bowler, bowled for 20 years. That's why he's got so much. Anil Kumble, only 18 years. Muralitharan, only 18 years.
Jesus.
Warney, 15 years.
Yeah, Warney went a while, but he had a couple of years off in between as well. Let's not
Nathan
forget.
Lyon, 12 years. Ravi Ashram, 12 years. So Jimmy Anderson, you're right. It's just the longevity. He's been bowling for 20 years.
It's not just the longevity, don't get me wrong. But it has to be, the longevity is part of the makeup of what makes him such a legend, I think. It's the fact that he's been going for so long and he continues to perform.
You still got to get picked for 20 years, which is fucking hard to do, man.
Yeah. He obviously,
22?
Yeah, I mean, you know how oftentimes like players who are getting to the later part of their career, it's like, oh, it's time to step down and let a young person come in and take the spot. Jimmy, I think, must have the attitude like, no, if the young person's good enough, let him take it, because he just keeps going. He's like 41 years old now. He's still playing for his country. And it's like, well, how can he must be so good that there's no one to replace him with. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what happened series before last, just around Australia, where they were like, oh, we're going to bring the young guys in. And after they lost the Ashes, they're like, oh, we're going to bring the young guys in. And they're like, Jimmy Anderson was your best bowler.
He was your best one.
Why would you drop him?
That's it.
And then I think they did drop him and Stuart Broad. And
they got slaughtered.
And then Brendan McCullum came in as coach, and he's like, well, these are the two best bowlers we've got. So I want them back. So Jimmy's back in the squad.
And they start winning again. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Who would have thought? Crazy notion. Yeah. Plugs, Damo. We just got Goodn.live.
Goodn.live. Yeah, let's throw it back up on the screen here. There it is. It's apparently coming. It's launching soon.
It's launching soon. Only way to follow us for these updates is literally on that site.
Goodn.live. That's right.
And this particular show. So don't go on any of those websites because we're not on Instagram and not on the other one. No. And we don't want to
remember the whole point of Goodn.life. You can only post once per day. That's it.
Once per day.
You're not going to fill up anyone's feed with shit. You can literally only post once per day. We're coming for you, Elon. That's it.
Yeah.
Taking you down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
See you guys next week.
Bye.
We'll always be bosom buddies, friends, sisters, and pals. We'll always be bosom buddies. If life should reject you, there's me to protect you.
If I say that your tongue is vicious,
if I call you uncouth,
it's simply that.
Who else but a bosom buddy will sit down and tell you the truth?